भगवान श्री योगी रामसूरतकुमार की सर्वं योगी रामसूरतकुमारार्पणमस्तु।
Today, once again, we are able to be here to join the Nama Sankirtan right in the presence, the vibrant presence of Bhagwan in his powerful shrine. Let us celebrate this grace and offer the Nama flowers, the Nama lotuses at his feet with deep gratitude. As I used to say, we could have found 100 excuses not to be here. We would get very busy with this and that. Everything else would seem very important and more valuable than this. Despite all that, if we find ourselves here to be able to sing this powerful name, we have to celebrate it, celebrate this grace. Now today, I think it's the last March, about 17th or something, this lockdown started. Now, very nearly 1 year. And so much we have all gone through. All over the world. It's proved again and again, the army strength is no strength. The money strength is no strength. And people do not know how to come out of this situation. There is fear, there is panic in the hearts of people. And the only way out of this is God's grace. Whichever way we can invoke this grace, that would be the best for us. Sometime back, on February 20th, the day of his Mahasamadhi, Dr. Smriti Chellamma, a homeopathy doctor, had come here. Her father, Shri Kumaraguru, mother Amuda, brother Balasubramanyam, the whole family, very devoted to Bhagwan, been coming here now for quite a few years. They chant his name with devotion. At one time, very recently, Shri Kumaraguru fell sick with corona. He was found COVID positive. What a great shock it was to the family. Dr. Smriti, a homeopathy doctor, during the severe lockdown, was able to give advice, instructions to the patients through online. So it was okay. She was separated from the patients. But then there came a period when she had to go to the clinic and attend to the patients there, the COVID patients. She says it proved to be quite an experience for her, and she treated as much as 50 cases of COVID. there was every risk of her catching this. But surprisingly, it was her father, Shri Kumara Guru, who was tested positive. A great shock to the family, as I said before. He was running a high temperature. The CT chest was taken, and the reading was another shock. And for nearly 4 days, Dr. Smriti and her mother were serving Shri Kumara Guru without a wink of sleep. Dr. Smriti says that it was Bhagwan's Nama that kept them going. All the time chanting Yogi Ramsuratkumar, begging him to save her father. And they informed the ashram also. They had given message to Kalyani, who promptly passed it on to me, and then I wrote down the name, went to Bhagwan, prayed, kept his name at Bhagwan's feet. Once the name touches the feet of Bhagwan, they are under good care of Bhagwan. So I prayed whenever possible, and I told them to apply this vibhuti. Bhagwan's vibhuti is found to be very powerful on the chest. 104. So they kept chanting the name, applied vibhuti on his chest, and after nearly a week, it came to normal. But then they found Dr. Smriti and her mother, Amuda, COVID positive. So you can imagine what a testing period, what a taxing period for them it is. Dr. Smriti thanked Bhagwan for all the experiences that she gathered while going to the clinic, attending the cases. It helped her. She says, despite all the difficulties they went through, they could spot specific graces from Bhagwan. For example, 3 people in a house testing positive for COVID, and they should have been hospitalized immediately, but nobody insisted. Somehow they were quarantined at home itself. It was a very specific grace from Bhagwan that they were allowed to stay inside the house, because had they been admitted in the hospital, each one would have gone to a different room altogether. They would have been separated. And when her father was tested positive, she passed on the news to the doctor, the senior doctor for whom she was working, over the phone. And the doctor said, yes. After that, there was no word from her. It was cut off, which was another shock to her. Dr. Smriti knew she could not look up to the senior doctor for any guidance, which meant she had to treat her father. She had to treat herself and her mother as well, out of the knowledge, the experience she had by attending to some 50 plus odd cases. She said those days only the Nama kept them going, and every food that they took was kept before Bhagwan, offered to him. Only the prasad was taken. So the Nama, Bhagwan's prasad, and homeopathy medicine. And slowly, slowly, everything came under control. Her father and mother were they are above 50 years, and they had comorbid conditions as well, other complications. Despite all that, everything came down to normal, and all the three of them were saved. And somehow, surprisingly, Balasubramanian did not get it. He was found COVID negative. In fact, when they came here, after the trauma of this COVID, corona, as soon as they entered, they started to cry. They could not help crying. Not because of the suffering they went through, but because of the grace that Bhagwan poured on them. How Bhagwan came to their help, how he guided them, how he protected them. Copious tears, just thinking of his grace. And all the three of them told us how the Nama helped, guided, protected. Now they know that with the help of the Nama, they could handle any situation. They know that Bhagwan is always with them. The tangible presence of Bhagwan. In fact, when they went for CT chest, a butterfly accompanied them half the distance. At every level, there was some indication from Bhagwan to assure that everything would be all right. There are many, many stories of Corona and Bhagwan's grace. This is just one of them because they had been here recently and Dr. Smriti narrated everything. It's not only corona of the body. There are many viruses in the mind also, the human mind. This whole thing for the whole world would prove to be a blessing in the end, because not only the nature gets cleansed, but people also had to look back, realize their mistakes, and correct themselves for a better living. In some way, the world has invited the predicament it is in, and it is the divine that has brought about this condition, and it's only the divine that can free us from this also. So we shall appeal to his generosity, his compassion, his raised hand for freedom from the grip of this virulent virus and its variants. Bhagwan, kindly intervene immediately and bring back a dharmic normalcy everywhere in the world. Please remove all the negativities from the minds of people. The fear, the panic. It's not just fear, it is panic. And the grief. And anger, jealousy, and all negative tendencies. Only you could remove them, and only you could arrest the spreading diseases, enter the proper medicines, and make them work. And Bhagwan, all those brave soldiers of great sacrifice. They've been fighting the disease at the very risk of their lives against all challenges. Please give them protection and a boost to the falling economy. Please support all the measures towards its improvement. And above all, we have been praying twice a day, all of us together, again and again, day after day, for nearly a year now, for constant remembrance of your name. Please bless us with constant chanting of your name, for being good instruments in your hands, and help us see your grace in everything, in both joys and sorrows of life. Let us spend this life, a great gift from you, for remembering God with deep gratitude. This is our soulful, intense prayer to you again and again. Jai Yogi Ramsuratkumar.